The world of middleweight sport bikes is currently undergoing a massive transformation as manufacturers move away from the high-revving four-cylinder screamers of the past and toward more versatile and torque-rich platforms. In the middle of this shift stands Triumph with its legendary Daytona nameplate, which has recently seen a revival in the form of the Daytona 660. While the initial release of this bike was aimed squarely at the street-focused enthusiast who wanted a blend of triple-cylinder character and daily usability, the latest news from the British manufacturer suggests that the 2026 model year is going to bring the bike much closer to its hardcore racing roots. For anyone who felt the 660 was perhaps a bit too soft for the circuit, the updates planned for 2026 are designed to push this machine directly into the heat of international competition, specifically targeting the FIM Women's Motorcycling World Championship, or WorldWCR. The narrative surrounding the Daytona 660 has always been one of balance. When it was first introduced, it replaced the memory of the ultra-aggressive Daytona 675 with a more ergonomic and accessible package. It utilized the 660cc triple engine derived from the Trident, but with significant internal upgrades to boost power to 95 horsepower and 69 Newton-meters of torque. However, for the 2026 racing season, Triumph recognizes that to be competitive against the likes of the Yamaha R7 and the Aprilia RS660, it needs to offer more than just a great street engine. The racing series is evolving, and the governing bodies are looking for bikes that can provide a thrilling spectacle while remaining somewhat grounded in production reality. By updating the Daytona 660 for 2026, Triumph is ensuring that their triple stays relevant in a class that is increasingly dominated by twin-cylinder machines. The core of the 2026 update involves a dedicated racing kit that will be made available to teams and serious track riders. This kit is expected to include a comprehensive suite of performance parts that transform the 660 from a sporty commuter into a genuine supersport contender. We are talking about race-spec bodywork that sheds weight and improves aerodynamics, along with dedicated rear sets that allow for a much more aggressive riding position.
One of the primary criticisms of the standard 661 was its relatively relaxed ergonomics, which are great for a mountain pass, but less than ideal for tucking behind a bubble on a long straightaway. The 2026 updates address this by providing the hardware necessary to sharpen the bike's geometry and rider interface. Beyond just the physical parts, the 2026 Triumph Daytona 660 updates are focused on the electronics and suspension components, which are critical for track performance. The standard bike comes with show-up big piston forks and a rear monoshock that do an admirable job on the road, but racing demands a level of adjustability and damping consistency that only higher-end components can provide. The move to bring the Daytona 660 into WorldWCR means that we will likely see specialized suspension tuning and potentially upgraded braking hardware to handle the rigors of repeated high-speed stops. This is a significant move for Triumph because it validates the 660 platform as a performance leader. It is no longer just the entry-level sport bike in their lineup, it is now the foundation for their middleweight racing efforts. The engine itself is also expected to benefit from the 2026 focus on racing. While the base 660cc triple is already a masterpiece of linear power delivery, the racing version will likely see revisions to its cooling systems and exhaust path to ensure maximum durability under race conditions. The triple-cylinder layout gives Triumph a unique advantage in the middleweight class. It offers more top-end rush than a parallel twin, while maintaining a much stronger mid-range than the old four-cylinder 600s. This character makes it an ideal platform for riders who want a bike that is communicative and rewarding to push to the limit. By entering the bike into professional series, Triumph is allowing their engineers to gather valuable data that will inevitably trickle down to the consumer version of the bike in the coming years. For the average rider, this news is incredibly exciting because it usually leads to a special edition or an R version of the bike being released for the public. While the current 660 is a fantastic value proposition, there is a clear appetite for a higher-spec variant that comes preloaded with some of these track-focused upgrades. The 2026 updates essentially create a blueprint for what a Daytona 660R could look like, with better suspension, more aggressive styling, and perhaps a bit more punch from the engine.
It also reaffirms Triumph's commitment to the Daytona brand. For a while, many feared that the name would only live on in limited edition Moto2 variants, but the push to get the 660 into the 2026 racing season proves that Triumph wants the Daytona to be a mainstay of the paddock once again. The competition in the middleweight segment is fiercer than it has ever been. Brands like Aprilia have seen massive success with the RS660 in both sales and racing, while Yamaha's R7 has become a staple of club racing across the globe. By positioning the Daytona 660 for the 2026 season, Triumph is directly challenging these established players. The triple engine is their secret weapon, providing a sound and a feel that nothing else in the class can match. As the racing world shifts toward these more sustainable and cost-effective platforms, the 2026 Triumph Daytona 660 stands out as one of the most interesting prospects for both professional racers and weekend track day enthusiasts. As we look toward the 2026 calendar, the anticipation for these updates continues to build. It represents a full-circle moment for Triumph, as they return to the supersport racing scene with a bike that reflects the modern era of motorcycling. It is about more than just top speed. It is about agility, character, and the emotional connection between the rider and the machine. The Daytona 660 has already proven itself on the street, and now, with the 2026 updates, it is ready to prove itself on the world stage. Whether you are a fan of professional racing or just a rider who loves a good triple, this development is a clear sign that Triumph is not done with the sport bike world just yet. They are refining their craft, and the result is going to be a 2026 Triumph Daytona 660 that is sharper, faster, and more capable than ever before. It is a bold step forward for a legendary nameplate, and it ensures that the triple-cylinder howl will continue to echo across racetracks for years to come.